Welcome to Yenga's Corner, podcast empowering women of all ages through God's Word.
Are you a woman that is driven by ambition? Are you in a position of leadership? Or maybe you are aspiring to be a leader. Whatever it is, I love women who are ambitious. And I think in our modern society, we need women to be in positions of power so that they can be able to drive change. Myself, I'm a woman in leadership. I love leadership. I mean, I've been studying leadership for years, and I love leadership. But you will agree with me, friends, that if a woman is in a position of leadership and they lack integrity, it can be very dangerous, very, very dangerous. So today I want to share with you the story of a woman who changed history in Israel. And I have learned a lot when it comes to being in power and in position of leaderships, because I know sometimes we struggle as women in the balance of being compassionate and at the same time being firm. And you want to know, when do I draw the line? When do I be more affirmative? And when am I supposed to be compassionate? Because by nature, we are nurturing beings as women. But I want to share with you the story of a woman in the Bible. This is one of the most chilling, yet very instructive stories in the Bible. I have learned a lot. If you're here for the first time, thank you for stopping by. This is Yenga's Corner, where we empower women through God's Word. And we have been going through this series called Project 50 because I want to share with you some of the women that have impacted my life. And I believe strongly that they are going to impact your life as well. Because, hey, we want to grow together in this community of women. And so today I want to introduce to you the story of Athaliah. And this is the first queen in the land of Israel. She was actually able to, like we say in this modern time, break the glass ceiling. She was one of them. But what I want us to learn from her is not how she did it so that we can copy it. Ooh, far be it from me. This is really the how not to do it. Because ambition is good, but if it's not done right, it can be very toxic. It can be very dangerous. And I know we live in a society where we are told, go get it. No matter what it takes, make it, And so there's a lot of people that have gone after power, even when it meant stepping on other people, even when it meant breaking other people. My sisters, I don't want you to be one of these people. So we can find this interesting story of Athaliah in the Bible, in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 11, and also 2 Chronicles, chapter 22 to 23. I'm not going to do the full read because it's a long read, but I will invite you to go and read this story and see how dangerous it can be when we are just so focused on the power, when we are so focused on our ambitions, that we're ready to pay whatever the price that it's going to take to get us there. So just to give you background context on who Athaliah is, this is the daughter of King Ahab. And yes, the mother is Jezebel, the infamous Queen Jezebel, that all of us we've known, maybe we haven't, but you just don't want to be identified with Jezebel because of all the evil, all the, the murders that she committed, all the wrongdoings that she did. She was so set on her own ambitions, and nothing could get her in the way of Jezebel, and of course her husband Ahab. And so you can imagine the environment through which Athaliah grew. She grew up in a very toxic environment, and she was modeled from a young age to get power no matter what it costs. So here she is. She was also the mother of King Ahaziah, that it was her son. And so it happened, King Ahaziah died because he was walking against God, and, he ended up being killed, like he died. And so the queen mother wanted to take the throne by force, which she ended up doing. But it's how she did it. Friends, she killed the entire royal family. Anybody that was next to the throne, she eliminated. Can you imagine? She eliminated her own grandchildren because they were standing between her and the throne. And she said, you know what? Nobody's going to stand in my way. I have to go to the throne. And this is what she did. So she eliminated all the royal family, all the grandchildren of the children of the King Ahaziah. And she took the throne by force. But in God's provision, one of the king's son was saved by his aunt, and he was hidden for a couple of years. And so when the queen was in reign for 6 years, this child was being prepared for the throne. And later on, he was actually crowned king. And so when Athaliah found out, she was mad. She cried, treason, treason. And obviously, in the same way she had taken the throne, she ended up losing her life for the throne. And so, friends, I want to share something very powerful in this. One is that we have to be very careful the environment in which we are living. Is it an environment that is preparing us for what God has aligned for us? Or is it an environment that is really going against God's will? So I know sometimes we don't choose our families. We choose our friends, but we don't choose our families. So you might be in an environment where you don't have good role models in terms of your parents. And it's so sad because sometimes we think our parents are the only ones who can instill in us the greatest values and everything that we need in our becoming. But we clearly see here that Athaliah had a very bad and toxic environment, which was her parents. And so my exhortation to you, friends, is that be aware of the environment in which you are. See to it that it's one that builds you towards your purpose, that it's not one that is actually intoxicating you. And you need to take a very tough decision of standing up or, distancing yourself from that environment. And as sad as it may seem, sometimes it might be our own parents. If you find that your parents are not leading you in a path that is proper, then you need to really distance yourself, because your future depends on it. Your purpose depends on it. Your destiny depends on it. We see Athaliah, she did not dissociate herself. So it depends on what you're consuming, friends. It might not just be your family environment. It could be the content that you're consuming. What is this message that is constantly being dripped in your conscious and in your subconscious? So you have to be very careful. It could be the friends. It could be your work environment. Whatever it is, be aware of the environment in which you're in. Is it conducive to your becoming, or is it actually hindering? And the second thing that we need to be very careful with is unchecked ambitions that can lead to distraction. I know we live in a time of girl boss, we want to be women power. We want to do everything that we can to be able to reach the top. But ask yourself, at what cost? I have seen women leaders who have destroyed other people's lives, who have, broken other people's spirits because they want to be seen as tough. They want to be seen as in power. We are living in a hustle culture where we are being told, do whatever it takes to get to the top. But friends, that is not the way. You can still be able to get to the top in a way that honors God, in a way that honors yourself and your integrity. When you're getting to the top, How many bodies are following? How many bodies have you left behind? Friends, I want to encourage you that yes, ambition is good, but look at the price tag of your ambition. If it is one that is costing lives, you have to be very careful, because you might end up in that position, but with so many lives destroyed. And whatever goes around comes around. So we have to be very careful about that. I would encourage you to have the opposite, which is good leadership, which is lifting as you climb, bringing others in. Who are you willing, what are you willing or ready to compromise for your goals? It's very important. Ask yourself, are my ambitions aligned with God's will? Or is it just what I want or what I desire? Friends, very important, because ambition alone does not get you to that place where you can be able to enjoy what you have built. You don't want to be in a position of power and constantly having your conscience condemning you because of all the harm that you have done in getting to that position of power. So we have to make sure that we have a God-centered alternative whereby we are pursuing excellence while maintaining integrity. That is so important. And the last point, friends, that I want us to share is that, you see, you cannot destroy what God has ordained. Athaliah wanted to make sure that she has the throne, and anybody who is eyeing the throne or is legitimate to be the next in throne will be taken away. But you see, God had a plan. In this dark moment, we see the power of God shining through. That God had other plans. While she sat on a stolen throne, God was actually preparing the rightful owner of that throne, which was Joash, this young boy that was saved, that was hidden, that was being prepared, that was being positioned for his divine purpose. So, for 6 years, while Athaliah was on the throne, God's plan was hidden, but it was never destroyed. Friends, you might be going through that period where God has hidden you. God is protecting you. God is preparing you for something great. Maybe the enemy has been trying to stop what God has ordained in your life. But I want to encourage you today that it will come out. It will rise. It will be glorified. A time is coming that God is going to crown what he has been preparing in hiding. Maybe you feel that you are being delayed. Maybe there's a lot of opposition to your calling, a lot of obstacles to your destiny. Let me tell you, friends, God will bring it to shine in the right time. Delays in promises that God has spoken over you, they will come to pass. Because for God, it's not a delay. For God, it's the perfect timing. You know, the book of Romans chapter 8:31, it reminds us that if God is for us, who can be against us? So you may have all these oppositions, like Athaliah was doing. She thought her plan was laid out perfectly, but it was very temporal. So whatever it is that you're facing right now, I want to tell you that it's very temporal. Very temporal. Because people may try to undermine your purpose. Circumstances may seem impossible. But all that, it's the preparation in hiding, friends. And at the right time, God is going to crown your efforts. I am reminded of the story of the bamboo and how when it's planted, in the first year, nothing is showing up. The second year, nothing is showing up. The third year, nothing. You're wondering, was there a seed here? Did I mistake the place I planted it? The fourth year, nothing. And then in the fifth year, something phenomenal happens. The bamboo breaks the ground and shoots up. And it's told that in 6 weeks, it can actually grow to 90 feet. In 6 weeks. And you're looking, I'm like, wow, in 6 weeks it has grown in 90 feet. But friends, no. It has been growing for 5 years. It has been taking roots. So your growth may be very silent, but it's happening. You may not see evidence of it, but when the time comes, God crowns what he has been preparing and hiding. So like this bamboo tree that people think that it's grown 90 feet in 6 weeks, but in reality, it has been building roots for 5 years. I don't know what you've been working on, but in your season of hiddenness, in this season that God has been hiding you, God is preparing you. It is not a season of worthlessness. If anything, it's a season of preparation. Just because people don't see it, it doesn't mean that God is not working. God is working. The plan of the enemy will not prevail against God's purpose for your life. So I hope this has been an encouragement to you. Athaliah's reign was temporary, but God's plan, it's eternal. What he's working in your life is eternal. And so I want to encourage you today. Please, even in your ambition, don't be like Athaliah. May you seek ambition with integrity. No matter what society leads us to believe, that we need to go get it, no matter what, no matter who. No. If you gain power with lack of integrity, it can be very destructive, not only to others, but also to yourself. So friends, I hope this has been a blessing to you, this sobering reminder of what happens when we allow toxic influences to shape our character and when we let ambition override our integrity. I'd like to hear from you. What has resonated with you in this episode? Is it the ambition side? Is it the environment that you need to be watchful for? Or is it reminding yourself that God, whatever he ordains, nobody can stop it? Leave me a comment and I'd love to hear from you. I hope this has been a blessing to you, friends. And if it has, never keep a good thing to yourself. Please share it with others. Can I please ask you a favor? Please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification. It helps us share this wonderful and empowering messages with all these women that need the same encouragement. So I hope this has been a blessing to you. Until next time, stay rooted and keep shining. God bless.